This singer-songwriter's sensitive guitar-driven pop has earned him fans like Elton John and Jamie Foxx.
You're just a small bump unborn, in 4 months you're brought to life.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Brayton and welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're speaking with Ed Sheeran.
You'll have your mother's eyes. Oh, I'll hold your body in my hands, be as gentle as I can.
Tell us about what first drew you to music as a career.
So what first drew me to music was I saw Eric Clapton play on TV on the Queen's Jubilee 10 years ago, and he played Layla, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'm going to get a guitar and I'm going to learn that. So that was the first step, and what drew me to it as a career was I saw Damien Rice play in concert when I was 11, and around the same sort of time actually, and realised that you didn't have to have a rock band, you could just stand on stage with an acoustic guitar and hold a crowd. So that was the first kind of step from a career point of view, and then kind of everything followed from there. But it took kind of years of independent releases and gigging and all of that for it to actually become real.
'Cause you are my one and only. You can wrap your fingers round my thumb.
So what did you grow up listening to?
Well, when I was very young, I was listening to stuff my parents were into, kind of like Van Morrison and Bob Dylan and the Beatles and stuff. And then I got heavily into rap music, and then really into acoustic music like Damien Rice. And nowadays, it's just a kind of mixture of everything. I kind of have a lot of weird stuff on my iPod, but you know, it's good to kind of take influences from all angles.
Now I'm in town, break it down, thinking of making a new sound, playing a different show every night in front of a new crowd that's new now. Chow seems to laugh is great now. See me lose focus as I sing to you loud, and I can't, no, I won't.
Explain to us how you've incorporated your love of hip-hop.
The love of hip-hop just comes from the lyrical point of view. I mean, like, being brought up on Bob Dylan and then getting into Eminem, you might look at Eminem and Bob Dylan and say they're two totally different acts, but all you have to do with Eminem is put a guitar behind his words, and it's a very similar thing. Folk music tells stories and hip hop tells stories, and that there's just a beat that separates it.
You need me, man, I don't need you. You need me, man, I don't need you. You need me, man, I don't need you at all. You need me, man, I don't need.
Being brought up on folk music and getting into hip hop and loving the lyrics, that's where the love comes from.
I think I'd rather hear somebody rap a Bob Dylan song.
Well, Bob Dylan does rap his tunes. If you listen to, you know, Mama's in the basement cooking up the medicine, like that's not a million miles away from an Eminem tune, I guess.
I sing fast, I know that all my shit's cool. I will blast and I didn't go to Brit school. I came fast with the way I act right. I can't last if I'm smoking on a crack pipe.
You had early support from people like Jamie Foxx and Elton John. How did that serve you in your career?
I'd been on the same circuit, playing the same gigs with the same songs and the same people over and over again. Like, and me moving out early and kind of not having a home and living day to day from other people's sofas and stuff. You don't get paid for gigs back then as well. Like when you're doing the small gigs, you get paid in alcohol. So being a 16-year-old kid that just drinks every night and doesn't have a place to live, you kind of, by the time you're 19, that kind of wears thin. The Jamie Foxx thing just kind of restored confidence. It was like, wow, I can come to a country where I've never played before and end up after 3 weeks in someone as kind of musically and just talented as Jamie Foxx without kind of having to do anything weird.
The game's over, but now I'm on a new level. Watch how I step on the track without a loop.
The Elton John thing, just, you know, he runs the management company I'm signed to, so he's got a vested interest in all the acts that are on that. But having him on my side, advice-wise, is a huge thing. I delivered the album and gave it in, and he listened to it, and I'd already kind of chosen A-Team as the first single, but then he rung up and said, right, you need to do, this is the first single here, then this, and then when you go to America, make sure you stick with A-Team first, because that'll be the tough sell to the market, and then you can go with a bigger hit. And like, there's no one from England that has managed to be as successful as Elton John for as long a time. Like, he's had hits for the last kind of 40 years, from kind of doing I'm Still Standing up until The Lion King and stuff like that. So yeah, he's just a great ally to have.
I'm always doing shows if I'm not, I'm in the studio. Truly broke, never growing up. Call me Rufio, melody music maker.
You're not still couch surfing, are you?
No, but I was up until December. It was quite odd having a #1 album that had gone triple platinum, and you know, it was just because I didn't have time to find a place to live, but kind of still living on your manager's couch. Yeah, it was interesting.